Welcome to the Spotlight Series. I'm your host, Scott Nerney, at the Quiz Sedan. It's Tuesday night. We'd love to have you stop by and talk to us. If you want to come by, you want to be on the show, you're an organization, a nonprofit, a small business, write to us. We would love to have you on. We'll send you an invite. Just like tonight, Carol Corcelli and Paula Iacono from the Chartercare Foundation. Welcome to the Spotlight Series.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
So
having us.
tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I'm the Executive Director of the Chartercare Foundation, which I've been doing since 2014. Chartercare Foundation, the genesis of which came from Chartercare Health Partners group of hospitals. We've taken all the donor funds from those 3 hospitals when they went for profit and created a community foundation. And we're focused on healthcare programs by nonprofits, also medical education and scholarships for those students studying nursing, pharmacy, any type of medical education. So far we have given away $1.7 million over the last 6 or 7 years.
Love that.
Yes, we're proud of that. I'd say we've serviced about 50 organizations in the state of Rhode Island, which has impacted over 120,000 individuals with health care that would not otherwise be available to them.
And Carol?
My name is Carol Corcelli, and I'm here because I started a fund in my daughter's name, Isabella Dora Corcelli Memorial Fund, because she died of cancer in 2016.
Sorry.
And I knew Paula because I met her at a symposium at a hospital function, and I knew she was part of Chartercare Foundation. And I drove by Chartercare Foundation every day coming home when I lived in North Providence. And I reached out to Paula a few years later and I said, it's time to give back. I'd like to start a fund in my daughter's name to help other female patients undergoing cancer. And we reached out to each other, we collaborated, and this is how the fund was established last year.
So what has it been like dealing from a concept that you have to working with an organization that kind of has a bit of a blueprint started for you?
It's an easy transition. I actually did not want to leave the state. I wanted to work with people who were familiar with Rhode Island, familiar with the hospitals, new contacts already. And having known Paula and knowing what she's capable of, she's extremely professional, I knew I was in the right hands.
So tell us about your daughter.
Thank you. My daughter, Isabella, grew up in North Providence, attended all North Providence schools, very athletic, typical childhood, rode a bike, climbed trees, Girl Scouts, ballet. She has an older brother, Michael, and a younger brother, Joe, and all good memories. It's the end of her junior year, and she's experiencing pain on her side. And we weren't sure, but after a series of appointments and tests, it was concluded that it was synovial cell sarcoma, which is a cancer of soft tissue. And when this was confirmed, she's now entering her senior year at North Providence High School, which is a big year,
Sure.
a big milestone year. And we had to start, before we started the chemo, which would be very strong, we had to find a wig. And at 17 years old, it's the last thing on your mind. So that was a hurdle. And her father and I used to craft a phrase for her many years ago, say, because I can. And that would help her get through challenges. So we kept saying to her, because I can, and you can do it. So she started the process of chemotherapy, started to freeze her eggs, which is very, again, young for 17. Surgery, chemo, radiation. We got a great clean bill of health by the spring, and she's off to UNH to study pre-med. She had a great year, and the following spring the cancer returned, and so would she back to Rhode Island for more surgeries and chemo and radiation and different types of treatment. And in that time, because she was diagnosed at 17, she was eligible for Make-A-Wish. So she danced with Tony Giovanni from Dancing with the Stars at his studio in Soho. She had a bunch of serendipity, and she saw the Jimmy Fallon show. And even during this whole process, we have the love of family and friends and support, and that's what helps you get through this, because it's very surreal and you never think it's going to happen to you. But unfortunately, she passed after the 4 years of all these trials and tribulations. She did pass in 2016, and that's when I felt it's really time to give back. I know what a young girl, 18 to 25, is going through, having lost her hair, having dealing with medications, having dealing with surgery and all the side effects of that. What can I do for them? Gee, it's hard to find a wig. It's hard to put makeup on. Maybe you want to have a spa day. You just want to have a normal day with your girlfriends and do something. That's what this Memorial Fund is for. Girls 18 to 25 who I get to sprinkle a little sunshine on them for a day and make them feel very special.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So I think, as we were kind of talking earlier before we started, there's a lot of attention to kids, and there should be, and there needs to be.
Right.
I mean, they're so fragile, and they don't even have an immune system really yet.
Right.
But once people kind of get past the, 12-year-old and the 16-year-old and the 18-year-old, but before they get to the adult side, so if someone's 30, cancer or breast cancer in women or other kinds of cancers is so tragic at 30, as well as 40, 50, 60, but there's a support system, there's friends, there's family. So is that the niche that you're trying to play into, as people who don't have experience with this, as a patient, as a family, and they're just maybe starting their college or their career?
Right. We did a little research that showed that there really wasn't an agency or any arm that we could find that was actually addressing anything like this for young women going through cancer in that age group. They were too old for Make-A-Wish and too young for some of the services you mentioned. And yet they're at a point where losing your hair and all that goes with it is really devastating to them. So when Carol approached us to set up this fund, we don't usually do individual funds and give grants to individuals. We give grants to agencies, but her story and Isabel's story was so powerful and so moving that the board said, there's a need, and we need to flex and we need to fill it. And that's how the Isabella Dora Corcelli Fund started to get funded, through Venmo, through individual donations, just in the community supported it. Carol's family and Isabella's friends supported it, and we have given one young woman who is 25 years old who was going through cancer treatments at Roger Williams Medical Center. She had no family support. She didn't even have transportation for her chemo treatments, so we were able to provide gift cards for transportation and get her a medical recliner so that when she goes home, it's not a struggle for her. She can rest and relax a little bit from the treatments. That's just one example.
So the piece that you're providing is not only peace of mind, but peace of comfort, and allowing them to focus their efforts on other things that need to be done.
Exactly. Exactly.
So how can people get more information on both your sides of the organization?
The Chartercare Foundation website has a profile on Isabella and the fund, and it's a one-page application. It's very simple, and applications are accepted on a rolling basis, so Carol and I review them and respond quickly. It's not something that's going to take months to find out if you qualify for the grant. And it's for quality of life, wigs, laptops, spa day, anything that's going to make this individual's journey just a little bit easier.
And we have the Instagram account under the Isabella Corcelli Memorial Fund, and you'll find all the information there.
So talk to someone who's considering donations, or they haven't really made out their charity list this year. Talk to them about how this is going to make a difference, how you'll, I know you've kind of talked a lot of the benefits that you want to provide, but talk to someone who's considering their checkbook at the moment for this year.
I think what makes this fund a little different is it's not the pediatric, it's not the elderly. This is a need for 18 to 25-year-old young girls who are almost embarrassed. They don't want to tell people they have cancer. They want to live as normal as possible. So it's for a special group, and we'd like to sprinkle some sunshine for them. And if you've ever helped somebody post-chemo and the side effects, if you've ever helped somebody post-surgery, if you ever had to figure out an oxygen tank or a morphine pack, and you have to flush it every day, I've done all that. I understand what you're probably going through, and that's why this fund is so important, because I was the caregiver, I was the mother. I cried every night, but I put a smile on my face to see that smile, to give her courage. But right now I can be the help to someone who's probably going through it. So if you've ever gone through that and been on the opposite side, I know what you're going through. So.
And it's not only money. I think it's important to point out that if someone wants to give a spa day,
Exactly.
if they want to donate some of their time,
Exactly.
if they're doing anything that you think would be a benefit to a young lady
Exactly.
that's going through this, you'd accept services in kind as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Gift certificates, etc. I do want to point out that sometimes when you give to organizations, some of the funds may go to operating expenses or salaries. That's not the case here. All the money donated to Isabella Dora Fund goes directly to a young woman to benefit her quality of life during this time. Absolutely every penny.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
Guys, I would love to say that this is a needed fund. Unfortunately, it is. And I'm so glad there's people like both of you that are putting some of this funds and services to light for these folks and helping that their situation, their recovery can be the best that it possibly can, and their quality of life can improve as much as it can.
Right.
I wish you a lot of luck
you.
in everything you're doing, and I applaud, you're doing amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you.
One more thing, if I might.
Absolutely.
If anyone in your audience is aware of any young woman that could benefit from this fund, please go on the website or call us, and we'd be happy to reach out and see what we can do for them.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you
Thank you for
very much.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.